How can a modern aircraft simply vanish? What happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370? These questions have haunted investigators, aviation experts, and the world since that fateful day in 2014. A Boeing 777, a marvel of modern engineering, disappeared without a trace, leaving behind bewildering clues and shattered families. This is the enduring mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. This isn't a story from a bygone era of rudimentary navigation, yet MH370 slipped into the shadows, defying explanation and logic. Join us as we delve into the perplexing details of this unsolved puzzle, exploring the facts, the theories, and the profound human impact of this unprecedented aviation mystery. March 8, 2014 began like any other day. At Kuala Lumpur International Airport, 227 passengers and 12 crew members prepared for their journey to Beijing aboard Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. The atmosphere was routine, families bid farewell, excited travelers settled into their seats, and the experienced pilots ran their pre-flight checks. At 12:41 a.m. local time, MH370 roared down the runway and climbed into the night sky, seemingly just another flight embarking on a routine journey. The first leg of the flight proceeded without incident. The Boeing 777, a symbol of modern aviation, was operating flawlessly. Then at 1:19 a.m., as MH370 approached Vietnamese airspace, air traffic controllers in Kuala Lumpur received the last message from the cockpit. "Good night, Malaysian 370, came the routine transmission from Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a veteran pilot with thousands of flight hours under his belt. These words, so ordinary in the context of air travel, would become the last known communication from the doomed flight. Just minutes after the final transmission, MH370 vanished from radar screens, leaving behind a void of information and a growing sense of dread among air traffic controllers. The initial response to MH370's disappearance was a mixture of disbelief and confusion. Air traffic controllers, accustomed to the constant monitoring of aircraft, were baffled. How could a modern aircraft, equipped with multiple communication systems and tracked by radar, simply vanish? As minutes turned into hours, and the expected distress calls failed to materialize, a more unsettling possibility emerged. The lack of any communication from the pilots, coupled with the deliberate disabling of the transponder, suggested something more deliberate, more sinister. The possibility of a hijacking began to take root in the minds of investigators. Never before had a large commercial airliner vanished so completely, leaving behind so few clues. But the motive, the perpetrators, and the ultimate fate of MH370 remained tantalizingly out of reach. As the world grappled with the news of MH370's disappearance, a massive international search operation swung into action. The initial focus was on the South China Sea, the area where the plane was last detected by radar. Ships and aircraft from multiple nations converged on the suspected crash zone, their crews scanning the vast expanse of ocean for any sign of the missing aircraft. However, the search in the South China Sea proved fruitless. Days turned into weeks, and the relentless ocean yielded no trace of wreckage, no sign of life rafts, and no glimmer of hope. The lack of progress in the South China Sea led investigators to analyze data from military radar and satellites. This analysis revealed a startling revelation. MH370 had not crashed in the South China Sea, but had instead turned back, flown across the Malay Peninsula, and continued flying for hours after its disappearance from civilian radar. The revelation that MH370 had flown for hours after its last communication sent shockwaves through the investigation. The new data placed the plane's last known location in the remote southern Indian Ocean, thousands of miles from its intended destination. This vast and unforgiving stretch of ocean, known for its treacherous weather and deep-sea trenches, became the new focal point of the search. The shift to the Indian Ocean presented unprecedented challenges for search crews. The sheer size of the search area, combined with the remoteness of the location, made this one of the most daunting underwater searches in history. Specialized equipment, including sonar-equipped ships and autonomous underwater vehicles, was deployed to scour the ocean floor. Despite the deployment of cutting-edge technology and the tireless efforts of international search teams, the search in the Indian Ocean proved agonizingly slow and frustrating. Weeks turned into months, and the ocean held its secrets close. As the search in the Indian Ocean continued, a glimmer of hope emerged thousands of miles away. On the shores of Reunion Island, a remote island in the western Indian Ocean, a piece of aircraft debris washed ashore. The debris, a flaperon from a Boeing 777, was positively identified as belonging to MH370, offering the first tangible evidence that the plane had indeed crashed in the Indian Ocean. The discovery of the flaperon, while confirming the plane's fate, did little to unravel the mystery of its disappearance. Subsequent discoveries of debris on other shores bordering the Indian Ocean, including Mozambique and Madagascar, added to the puzzle but failed to pinpoint the exact crash site. Each piece of wreckage, while providing a morbid confirmation of the tragedy, deepened the mystery surrounding MH370's final moments. Satellite images identified potential debris fields, sparking frenzies of activity, only to be later dismissed as marine debris or natural phenomena. The repeated cycle of hope and disappointment took a heavy toll on the families of those lost, who clung desperately to any shred of information that might bring them closer to the truth. The lack of a definitive explanation for MH370's disappearance created a vacuum that was quickly filled with speculation, theories, and conjecture. Experts and amateur sleuths alike grappled with the limited evidence, proposing a range of scenarios, each more perplexing than the last. Theories ranged from the plausible to the outlandish, encompassing mechanical failures, pilot suicide, hijacking, and even the involvement of shadowy government agencies. One of the most persistent theories centered on the possibility of a deliberate act by one or both of the pilots. The deliberate disabling of the transponder, the deviation from the flight path, and the lack of any communication all pointed to a level of premeditation that was difficult to ignore. Some experts speculated that Captain Zahari, a veteran pilot with a known flight simulator in his home, may have intentionally crashed the plane, while others suggested a possible hijacking by someone with intimate knowledge of aviation. Other theories focused on possible mechanical failures, such as a sudden decompression or an electrical fire that could have incapacitated the crew and sent the plane on its errant course. However, the lack of any distress call and the seemingly controlled manner in which the plane changed course made these theories less likely. Lost in the sea of speculation and conspiracy theories was the profound human cost of the tragedy. For the families of the 239 passengers and crew aboard MH370, the disappearance was a descent into a nightmare from which there was no awakening. The agonizing uncertainty, the lack of closure, and the constant barrage of speculation took a heavy toll, leaving families shattered and desperate for answers. Living in a state of perpetual limbo, the families of MH370's passengers and crew faced an unbearable wait for news, clinging to the slimmest of hopes. The official declaration that the plane was lost, with all souls presumed dead, offered little solace, only deepening their pain and sense of abandonment. Many families refused to accept the official findings, clinging to the belief that their loved ones were still out there, waiting to be found. They formed support groups, organized vigils, and tirelessly advocated for a continuation of the search, determined to honor the memory of their loved ones and keep the world from forgetting the unsolved mystery of MH370. The disappearance of MH370 sent shockwaves through the aviation industry, prompting a global reassessment of safety protocols and technologies. The unthinkable had happened. A modern airliner equipped with state-of-the-art technology had vanished without a trace, exposing vulnerabilities that few had considered. The tragedy served as a stark reminder that even in the age of advanced aviation, the skies hold inherent risks, and complacency can have catastrophic consequences. In the wake of the disaster, aviation authorities and organizations around the world implemented a series of recommendations and mandates aimed at preventing a similar tragedy from occurring. These included enhancing aircraft tracking systems, extending the battery life of underwater locator beacons, and improving the sharing of flight data between airlines and authorities. Real-time tracking systems utilizing satellites and ground-based receivers became increasingly commonplace, providing airlines with constant awareness of their aircraft's location, even over remote areas. Additionally, the tragedy highlighted the importance of black boxes, prompting calls for improvements in their design and recoverability. Despite years of investigations, countless hours of analysis, and the deployment of sophisticated technology, the mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 endures. The lack of a definitive explanation, the absence of a wreckage site, and the unanswered questions surrounding the final hours of the flight continue to haunt investigators, aviation experts, and the world at large. The unanswered questions surrounding the flight path, the lack of communication from the cockpit, and the ultimate fate of the aircraft continue to fuel speculation and debate, ensuring that MH370 will remain a topic of fascination and intrigue for years to come. Will we ever know what truly happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370? These questions remain unanswered, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown and the deep human need to make sense of tragedy. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 stands as one of the most perplexing and enduring mysteries of our time. The sudden and complete vanishing of a modern airliner, the lack of a definitive explanation, and the profound human cost of the tragedy have left an indelible mark on the world, reminding us of the fragility of life and the vastness of the unknown. While the official search for MH370 has concluded, the quest for answers continues. Independent investigators persist in their efforts to unravel the mystery. The legacy of MH370 extends beyond the realm of aviation, serving as a poignant reminder of the importance of family, the power of hope, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable loss. Though the mystery may never be fully solved, the memory of those lost on MH370 will live on, forever etched in the annals of aviation history and in the hearts of those who love